I'm meteorologist Carly Gomez tracking fire danger this Father's Day weekend. As we get that closer look, we are seeing that a fire weather watch is being issued by the National Weather Service north of Redding down just past Elk Grove and as far west as areas around Clear Lake. Now we are seeing this at 11 p.m. on Saturday until Monday 5 p.m. So a big range and a big area here dealing with strong wind gusts, but also very low humidity expected. Now, this is preliminary, so we do expect this to at least turn into a warning soon as we move from Friday to Saturday, and even areas further south may be expecting more of this to be issued into the San Joaquin Valley as well. Still looking at gusty conditions there. Now, if you had plans to head toward Reno or Carson City or areas into Nevada for Father's Day weekend, you're looking at a fire weather warning already being issued for Friday 2 p.m. until Friday 10 p.m. Now, we are looking at very dry conditions there as well for fire concerns with strong wind gusts. Now, as we take a look into the future here into how low humidity is expected to drop, it is very low, even talking single digits at times. Moving into Saturday, you're looking at 7 and even 8% relative humidity. Now 9% Stockton to 10% in Modesto. So these areas haven't seen a fire weather watch be issued yet, but because of how dry it is and how they'll be affected by strong wind gusts, I wouldn't doubt that that may be considered as we start moving toward the weekend. You're looking at 15% in Fairfield for Saturday afternoon, evening, and this isn't even necessarily when that fire weather watch is being issued. That won't be issued until even 11 p.m. because the winds won't be strong enough, but we don't need super strong winds when we have this dry conditions. Even that 5 to 10 mile per hour wind could even start spreading fires quickly, but we do anticipate even 15 to 20 mile per hour winds at this point in time. So very dry conditions. Moving into Sunday, the entirety of Sunday looking at that fire weather watch, with this down again to about 10% relative humidity across most of those valley spots, even into the foothills. And take a look up high, Truckee, South Lake Tahoe, 18 to 24% humidity, extremely low. You're not looking at much coming in, and that's because most of our winds will be coming in over land versus coming in off the ocean, where we usually get at least that ocean breeze can sometimes give us some moisture in our air. Most of this wind will begin coming in over land. Take a look at that as you look into Monday. As it comes in directly overhead from the north, we'll be looking at very dry conditions. Now, looking at the futurecast winds, Friday, most of our wind will actually be coming in from the northwest, and most of that will be coming in from the ocean as well. Still looking at low humidity levels, but 20, 25 to even 35 mile per hour wind gusts may be expected. The Tracy Triangle, seeing areas flaring up there, could see as high as about 45 mile per hour wind gusts, and areas around that coastal range. And take a look as we look over the Sierra Crest, there's strong gusts toward Nevada as they're also looking at those fire concerns Friday. As we move towards Saturday, the winds do begin picking up again. They don't look actually quite as bad, but we're going to be getting a shift in the wind pattern happening Saturday night. You start noticing a winds coming in beginning here out of the north and northwest, and you're still getting a bit of a delta breeze Saturday evening. But again, things begin shifting as we move into your Sunday to Monday. You're getting northerly winds now, about 15 to 25 miles per hour. And those wind gusts, though, could get as high as 35 mile per hour gusts. So please stay safe this Father's Day weekend. Fire safety out there. Please mow and weed before 10 a.m. before it gets hot. But with winds like this, you don't even need to do it early in the morning. Just kind of don't do it at all when it's this windy or gusty. You don't want to be mowing over dry grass as well. That can cause a fire quickly, especially if you're mowing over areas where you don't know there's a rock and your blade hits or sparks a fire quickly. And again, never pull over your vehicle in dry grass. That's never good. Again, with the rocks and blades kind of situation, anything can happen quickly. And you want to avoid any kind of potential for burning anything down made of wood. So if you are planning on grilling for Father's Day, maybe you had plans to do that, and it's windy where you're at, no cover, you don't want to be doing that close to a wooden fence, close to wooden furniture or dry grass. Have a bucket at hand or ready if anything were to go awry. But if not, maybe take your dad to a nice dinner inside. Nice cool air conditioning could also work for you there. All right, wildfire emergency kits. This is the time of year we have to start alerting people because fire outbreaks are continually happening, especially with the dry grass conditions we've been dealing with and then the strong wind gusts picking up. Make sure you have your survival needs, your first aid kit, medicine, food, and water for at least 3 days. The important documents handy, whether that's on a disc or whether you have that external hard drive, some paperwork as well, and your go bag. Just have that ready by the door of that front closet you may have there. And then remember your pets. They need food, they need water too. but also make sure you have their ID tags for them, as well as any medications they may need. Now let's talk about our weather headlines as we move toward the weekend. Very gusty conditions, all already expected, but we are looking at cooler weekend temperatures. We dealt with a couple of 100-degree temperatures this week, but now we're actually dropping off into the mid 80s to low 90s for the weekend. So it's actually a little bit cooler, I'll say. But the fire weather watch, again, still in effect with dry, gusty conditions. And then more triple-digit heat here is possible next week as we start pushing toward next weekend. So the heat risk is actually expected to be pretty minor for the weekend, really only affecting those people who are extremely sensitive to heat or when they're outdoors or don't have effective cooling, including air conditioning. But as we look at the 500 millibar chart, this is half the jet stream here, half the atmosphere here, I should say. Looking at this, you can actually see here there's a low pressure system overhead Pacific Northwest on Saturday night. Begins to make its way and dip further south, increasing our wind speeds for us into your Monday. Notice that big dip happening there, and then it starts exiting toward the east. But right behind it, we do have a high pressure system and a ridge here beginning to build up. That'll begin shifting its way toward us next week, creating much warmer temperatures for us as we start approaching the following weekend. We could even be looking at those triple digits. Now, the next 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, the Climate Prediction Center saying above average temperatures for the West Coast and most of the East Coast, well above average temperatures there, as well as areas around the Great Lakes. And you're looking at the Pacific Northwest average to maybe slightly below average, but otherwise it's most of the country experiencing those warmer temperatures. Now, Father's Day, we're expecting pretty decent temps, but the winds will be gusty. 90 degrees and sunny. Enjoy your day. Make sure you're planning any outdoor activities, at least maybe early in the morning before it gets a little too hot outside. Looking at temperatures in the foothills, upper 80s to mid 80s. Twain Harte to Groveland, 90-degree temperatures. Angels Camp, Sonora, but overnight lows are decent. You're seeing upper 50s out there, so a little bit of recovery overnight. 80-degree temperatures in Forest Hill and Pollock Pines. If you're headed to the Bay Area for your Friday, you're looking at upper 60s to low 70s. Overnight lows in the lower 50s, but very breezy, very windy over the weekend inland and very windy for the Bay Area. So keep that in mind. Grab that sweater and jacket for those evenings. Taking a look at our valley temps, mid to low 90s for most of the weekend. The further north you head, you're looking at Colusa, Yuba City, about mid 90s. Otherwise, just expect lower 90s as we start moving to Friday. And that's pretty much what it's going to look like for most of the weekend. Low 90s out there for Father's Day. Mid 80s, the coolest day of the week, expected to be on Monday, but still pretty gusty out there. Fire concerns. Then as we move toward Juneteenth on Wednesday, 94 degrees. The first day of summer is expected on Thursday, 98. And then here we go. Triple digit heat is expected for that following weekend.